those of you guys that we haven't met in person, my name is Lou Silberman. I am the CEO and founder of Louology, Crushing in Aesthetics, Louology. I'm Lou, the science behind crushing aesthetics. This community was born because over the last 20 years, we've gotten 10 million questions from people saying, shit, I'm starting a business and I need help on marketing and software and medical directors and making money and technology and injections and blah, 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 blah. And so we wanted to create a digital resource and a community for people to kind of reach out. And so we can all help each other. For those of you guys that I haven't met, I've been in the game of medical aesthetics. Actually, I've been in the healthy beauty business since 1997, which seems impossible because I just turned 25. So I'm not sure how that worked out. But anyways, I started as an internet entrepreneur in 97, selling health and beauty products online before Google came out. I don't know if you guys remember the days of AOL and Yahoo and Netscape, and there wasn't social media. I think there was like MySpace, if you even remember what MySpace is. And so I was an internet entrepreneur. I learned how to market online, and I don't know if I got lucky or was blessed or right place, right time, but that became the 6th most visited health and beauty website in the United States of America. We had more traffic than CVS and Walgreens. Stumbled into this wonderful business 19 and a half years ago, opening up what I thought was going to be the second medical spa in the United States of America. When I opened my doors a year later, I was not the second one. I was the 92nd one in Arizona. And then I saw the business taking off 20 years ago. I go, wait a minute, there's an opportunity for education. So the building that I built in Arizona, 10,000 square feet, I built this building for internet and TV, health and beauty marketing, transformed into an educational medical aesthetics training center. We evolved from med spa operator to primarily educator. And here we are 20 years later. And now we are evolving with more than just education because we want to give back to the world. And we find there's such a huge need out there. Half our clientele, they go to work somewhere else. They want to learn how to build a personal brand, and their half wants to start their own gig and they need guidance and direction. And that's what we're here for. So that's my quick background. We've been very blessed and fortunate to do, hundreds of millions of dollars in sales over the years. So I'm at the point in my career that I'm not in this for the money anymore. I love it. I wake up every day and I get to go to work. And when people say, Louis, you're a workaholic, and I see you working on nights and weekends, like, no, I get to work on nights and weekends because my baby is my hobby, it's my passion. I'm just lucky that I'm doing something I love. So that's kind of my quick intro. For those of you guys I haven't met, hello. We do this once a month on the first Wednesday of the month to answer all your questions and be the best possible resource we can. Erica, if you could do a quick intro on your background, then we'll rock and roll.
Yes, and I'm involved in this because I only allow myself to be around people with that kind of energy. So, but I've also built a medical business and also digital marketing business into the high tens of millions. Just absolutely love it. I'm more of a techie, and I don't have as much of the specific aesthetics knowledge that Louis has from all of his years, like digging deep. But I do have that aesthetics background when it comes to marketing, when it comes to technology and automation, those types of things. So we've combined our efforts. Louis has me running both Louology and Revelana. Louology is more of the mentor organization. The first question I put here is, what is Louology? Someone asked. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, it's more of a mentor organization. We offer a ton for free. And it's a mentor organization more for entrepreneurial aesthetics professionals. So if you're getting into anything aesthetics, you're looking at starting your own practice, or you want to make an impact where you are, and then maybe even someday own your own. That's what Louology is all about. There's a paid piece of it too, but we don't even need to get into that. That's for deeper needs. And we're just here to help. So that's my little spiel here. And I'm going to kick in. I really love this first question, Lou.
Go for it.
I'm going to go for it. The first question is, someone wants to know the strategies that Lou suggests to boost client confidence in these, especially in the uncertain times, making people, they're holding back. Right. So what are your recommendations in getting people to really commit and make their aesthetics, as a client, their services or whatever they're buying a top priority in their life?
So every business in the world is being affected by this. I mean, luckily, the aesthetic and beauty business has much less of an effect than, most 90. I mean, the businesses, in my opinion, they're the least affected by rough economy are, of course, you got things like groceries and food. You always got to eat, and things like gasoline. So there's in healthcare, like you got to go to the doctor if you're sick. So you got to go to the doctor, you're sick. That's not really affected. Food's not affected. gasoline, but everything else in the world pretty much has an impact if consumers are spending less money. So let me give you a real life example. So even though, let me give you an example. I'll give you an example last 60 days. So I've noticed in my last 60 days that in our medical segment of our business, when we train physicians and nurses, in the last 5 years, our average attendee we have a 2-week course for medical professionals. They can do, they can do all 2 weeks. They can do 2 days. They can do a weekend of Botox fillers. They can do lasers, injections, everything. So our average attendee, some do 2 days, some do 14 days, but our average attendee did about, let's say, 6 days of training as an average. Okay, some more, some less. I've noticed in the last 4 months, since things have shifted, our average attendee is doing probably 3 or 4 days. So we're doing just as much business as far as human beings going to the door and excited about this industry, but they're spending a little less money. They're kind of baby stepping. Oh, I'm going to do 3 days instead of 6 because, gosh, what if my husband lost his job? Because I heard Google or Amazon is laying off. Maybe he works there. Or, oh gosh, my credit card interest rates went up from 3% to 7%. Now my payment on my credit card went from $400 to $800. And so I'm going to go a little slower. So how am I personally combating that? I'm just giving you a real life example. So what we're doing is we are adding more value in times like this. Now, am I dropping my prices? Absolutely not, because we're delivering a great service. However, we're giving more value. So let me give you an example. We do a bunch of on-demand videos right now. We're filming a whole series of video-based on-demand videos. Like quality is going to be like off the charts, better than anything that exists in the world. And so I filmed some videos today as kind of let's call it a upsell, cross-sell. Let me excite you about doing more. And in the videos I filmed, it's kind of like, okay, you just paid us, $1,000 for this video class. Fantastic. Thank you very much. And if you'd like to test out any of the other 7 videos, what we're going to do is we're going to send you $300 of complimentary Lume skincare, which we absolutely love, and a code for, whatever, $250 off the next course. So basically somebody spent the full money, maybe they're getting a teeny little discount and we're giving them something of value. And all of a sudden, maybe they were only going to do 1 course, but now they're going to do 2, 3, 4, because they love the fact that they're getting free skincare products and a couple $100 off. So sometimes the smallest little added value, and whatever the added value is you want to give, that's up to you. Maybe your added value is, cooking them some cookies to go home with, or a discount or skincare, whatever it is. There's no right or wrong, but those are some of the initiatives that we're doing to kind of offset the mindset of let me go a little bit slower on the purchase.
One thing I would highly recommend too is to think about how you can save the day. How could you be the hero? What happens when things get bad? People get headaches. They start feeling lethargic, whatever it might be, and really making their health and wellness a high priority and making yourself craved. So it's about positioning, and it's about really focusing in on a very specific solution and a very specific feeling you're going to give people, because they may give up coffee. Let's say or like making their own coffee and instead of going out to Starbucks every day, those kinds of things. But everyone is looking for the solution of what can make them feel better. So think about when things get rough, what are the top things that happen to somebody mentally and physically when they're under a lot of stress, and make it a reason to get out and get something done, and do it in baby steps. Like Lou said, don't make it this big expensive thing. Do it in baby steps, build that relationship, then make that second thing a really high priority, make a difference in their life. The next question is, what are the current trends in aesthetics and how can I incorporate them into my practice?
So the coolest thing about this industry, as you guys are, I'm sure, experiences, there's always something latest and greatest, and wow, what kind of brand new that came out. So the latest and greatest trends in aesthetics in the world of injections and technology are the following. Let's do injections first, because I don't know if our crowd is more doctors, nurses, or laser people, but in the world of injections, the latest and greatest things is called PRF Easy Gel. So you all know what platelet-rich plasma is. When we draw the blood from the body, we spin in a device called a centrifuge that separates the good blood from the bad blood. And we take the good blood and we inject it in somebody's face for these amazing skin rejuvenation results. And we can go the whole face. We can go under the eyes, the face, you can go the hair, down there, anywhere, right? But then something came out called PRF, platelet-rich fibrin, which is kind of it's a way you kind of spin the blood, and with this product kind of gives a little thicker consistency. Well, they kind of took it to the next level. And the latest and greatest thing in that world now is called PRF Easy Gel, where literally I think it's a replacement for dermal fillers under the eyes. And I've always been a little nervous about dermal fillers under the eyes. So even though it's an amazing treatment, I've had my hot shot injectors put injections under my eyes and I look amazing, but 17 people have gotten blinded in the last 4 years from bad injections. That makes me a little bit nervous because we deal with the new kid on the block, especially. So PRF Easy Gel, I feel, is a strong contender to literally replace that in the years to come. I mean, the result is so close in my eyes. Now, granted, they may need, fillers one-time shot. You get a treatment, perfect. PRF Easy Gel, you might need 2 treatments, a little bit more, maybe it's a little bit more money, but it's natural. There's zero risk, and it is latest and greatest. So to me, that is the latest and greatest thing in the world of injections out there. And also a class that we're in the process of developing. We won't even have it out for 90 days. But what's becoming very mainstream, and I'm a big fan of, I'm actually, in the next 2 weeks, I'm actually going to get a treatment in my temples, and it's called Sculptra. You guys have probably heard of it, but Sculptra has become quite an up-and-comer. They are by the company Galderma that makes Restylane and Dysport. And there's a lot of off-label indications that are really good. They can't talk about it legally because typically Sculptra's for the face. It's like from here down, and you get a treatment of Sculptra, you see nothing. You get a dermal filler like a Juvenile Restylane, you see a great result. You see nothing. But what happens over time, over 3 to 4 months, it builds and you see this amazing result a couple months later. So we're seeing people do that amazing results in the temples and the booty. You're probably seeing all these, I don't know, it's a trend that's gonna, who knows how long it's gonna be around, but everybody wants a Kim Kardashian tush, right? They want this plum tush, So I mean, those customers are spending, they're doing 10 vials. Well, your cost or my cost for 10 vials is $240 a vials. Our cost, get this, you guys, is $2,500 cost of product. You're charging $5,000 for something that takes you 30 minutes. Well, do the math. 5,000 minus 2,500 is $2,500 gross profit for you in less than an hour and probably a 30-minute treatment that they are thrilled with the results. So in the injection world, that's latest and greatest. In the technology world, the latest 2 things in the technology world, well, the latest 3 things, these are probably familiar to you. They're not too recent, but the last couple of years, you got the tummy tightening body contouring devices. First to market was M-Sculpt. Literally, you get toned, ripped abs, like sit-ups at the gym, sitting there with this device in your tummy. The device alternates between toning your tummy and decreasing your fat. There's 20 brands out there. They all work really, really well. That's latest and greatest. We've got the Tri-Lift from a company called Luminous, which is crazy expensive right now because it's so new. It just came out 3 months ago. It's the only thing FDA approved in the United States of America to lift the face using technology. It's a combination of a stimulation technology like they're using for the tummy and I believe some radio frequency, and it works amazingly well, but the devices are expensive. They're like $200,000, crazy, but it's quite the range. I would assume 3 to 4 months, there'll be a lot of knockoffs out there and the price will be way, way less. And number 3, for the last 2 years, this has just been a staple. Every med spa, every aesthetic practice in the world now has a combo radio frequency microneedling system. They could range anywhere from 50 grand to 100 grand. Results are awesome. You can treat any skin type. So those 3 in technology. So those are latest and greatest trends in aesthetics right now and technology.
How would you address a client that's asking for a technique that you're not ready to perform as a new injector or new at this certain technology?
Yeah, I would first say that that will happen once in a while, but it's not going to be a common occasion. It might be, out of 25 clients, it may be 1 or 1 out of 50, but when it happens, don't do it unless you have experience doing it. Or if it's something really simple, if you saw it on a YouTube video and it's like, oh my God, it's a no-brainer, then sure. Oh my gosh, yes, it's easy, and I'm gonna knock it out. Maybe, for example, you've never done a lip pop in your life or an eyebrow lift, but if you put 2 units here or 2 units here, getting the result, something as easy as that, you don't need any experience. You saw the video, you're good to go. But if something a little more complicated and you're not so sure, and there could be a risk involved, just be honest. Hey, I've heard good things too. That's up and coming. I'm in the process of checking that out. And if I believe it's going to be safe and effective, let's circle back in a month and we'll hook you up and give you some time to do some homework, because I don't want to jump the gun and I don't want to give you a treatment that may not be safe or effective for you. Guess what? When you turn people away and when you say, I'm not going to take your money, you build respect. You might not make money that moment in time, but you build respect. Because I love it when somebody says, Louis, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that to you because I'm not sure if there's going to be a contraindication. Or, I mean, gosh, wouldn't you love that? You go to a doctor and you want to, let's say you want to take a Xanax because you're having anxiety. And they say, gosh, you know what? That's great, but you're on this drug here and there's a chance you could have a contraindication. And, give me some homework and I can look into a better option for you. You respect that, right? We all respect that.
This is a big question, Lou. You ready?
Yep.
How do I start a med spa?
One step at a time, one step at a time. It's funny, Erica. So you guys, I haven't told you this, Erica, but my COO, my chief operations officer, has been with me for a zillion years. She was a provider for years, great business mind. So she's kind of, she wants to go off and do her own consulting gig. And I'm sad because, she'd be leaving me as a full-time employee, but she wants to, do consulting projects for me and stay on board. But she also wants to do it as a full-time business. And she knows every aspect, Erica, of starting a med spa from A to Z. So I said, why don't we do a partnership deal with Louology, where we'll refer people to you and we'll find a very competitive price that's under market. And maybe, Louology will take a little referral fee and give her all the money, let her do a thing. And we'll have somebody dedicated, Erica, for the people that want A to Z help. So they can have a consultant that's really reasonably priced. That's something, but there's a lot of steps, you guys. I mean, it would take me 3 hours to give all the steps, but obviously, you got to rent a place. You got to get a medical director. You got to buy injections. You got to get some technology. You got to set up the consent forms and compliance forms. You got to write scripts for your front desk for how do you respond to emails and phone calls. You got to get a med spa software. You could get a cheap scheduling one for $20 a month. You could get a crazy expensive one for $1,000 a month. You could custom make one for $1 million. Or you could do something like Revolano, like we have, which is kind of like the middle ground for like $97 a month that does the scheduling, does automation, blah, blah, blah. So there's so many different avenues to get really, it'd be a long conversation, but that's why we're here. To walk you guys through that, depending on your need. Well, obviously, the first thing you need, you guys, you need a name of your company. Of course, you can't start a business without a name. You need a little bit of branding and marketing. What I mean, well, you need a name of your company. You got to do a logo. You have a website created. It's some basic 101 marketing materials, and we offer support all those things. So there's a lot of kind of like fundamental basic steps.
If you're a Louology full access and mentor support member, that's $69.95. It's one time $69.95. It gets you into those step-by-step, the details. It has all of like the patient consent forms and like everything you have to do.
Everything.
Yeah.
And whatever is there, you guys, you emails are okay. By the way, I assure you that we don't make money off $69. It's a one-time fee. We do that to get skin in the game because we've learned over the years, Eric and I have learned that if you help people out and they invest $1, $100, they're much more likely to take action and follow through and become successful. The people that won't invest $20, $100, the odds of them making it in any business is tough. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's just tough. That's why I love it when people spend money to train a national laser, not because I make more money. Yes, of course I make money doing that, but it's because they're investing in themselves. They're investing in their education. The chances of them succeeding are 10 times greater than watching some YouTube video and going out there and getting a job or starting a business. It's just a proven statistic.
I have to mention too, we just created this huge document that's going to be going up in the resources section for full access members that goes into each individual state and what kind of credentials. Can you be a medical director in your state? And it shows the credentials that are yes, and the credential, like it'll show you and it tells you if you can own the medical spa or if you have to set up something like an MSO. Like we have that launching in there, and I'm so excited because we have so many questions about, can I be a medical director in my state? Those kinds of things. I took a master injector course. Are there continuing education, hands-on courses available to brush up on my skills? One thing I want to mention real quick before you answer that, as a full access member too, we have a lot of those, just basic refresher videos in there that are very fundamental, basic level, where you could just do a quick refresher. But Lou, I'll let you answer what you have over at NLR.
Yeah, I think the question was continuing education types of courses. Yes, we have many courses. We have the most common one I say that injectors take is called next level injections, because most nurses and doctors, once they do some basic 101 injecting, they get concerned for valid reasons about facial anatomy and safety and where do I go. And even though they learned it, they kind of want details. They want just intense details on all the facial anatomy and where you go. So we have a class called Next Level Injections. It's a two-day course, and we do a lot of the the under the tear chops with the PRF and all the areas that are desired and of concern, just more advanced stuff. So we have that. We have a similar course for technology called Next Level Lasers, similar concept. And for those that want the more affordable versions and just want to do it online, like I said, we're in the process of creating a whole series of amazing, we call them on-demand video learning as well.
Is there any place to find cheaper Botox? So, and they're getting it from Allergan.
So the only place to find cheaper Botox is Canada or Mexico. Is literally half the price, but you can't legally buy it, or you can lose your license as a medical professional. Or if you're an entrepreneur and you've got a medical director and you're buying from a different country, you can lose your license. They can lose your license and get shut down. So in the United States, you can't buy cheaper Botox. However, the biggest competitor to Allergan is a company called Evolus Jeuveau, who's the prior president of Allergan that went out and took a company public. It's literally identical. I've had both products. I'm due. It's been a while, but identical results, almost identical composition of the product. It's literally like it's like if I asked you the difference between Perrier and Pellegrino, can you really tell me the difference between a lime Perrier and a lime Pellegrino? It's pretty darn close, or a Coke and a Pepsi, or blah blah blah. You get the point. So that's the way to go. It's not the branded name. Like people say Botox and they come from a dog side and you could offer them Jeuveau. Literally your cost of product will be whatever, $425 instead of $625, which like, what's that? That's significant, you guys. That's a significant saving. That's like, what is that? 30, 40%, probably literally 40% less. So that would be my angle. So you still want to advertise Botox. You want to get them in the door, but give them the option. Hey, if you like to save a couple of bucks, I give you the exact same thing. It's going to cost you 25 bucks less, and you make $100 more, and problems, you know?
As a new injector and a 25-year experience PA, physician assistant, how do I go about finding a medical director, a job as an injector when everyone wants to hire an RN?
So how do I find, so
that's
a dual question. That was, how do I find a medical director, and also the job search, both questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, how to find a medical director. So it depends on the state you live in. You know, we may have some connections in your state. We may not, number one. Number two, let's say we did not have connections in your state to turn you on to. I remember this, you guys, back in the day, 19 years ago, and I knew nobody in this industry. I sent out a fax, you know, like the paper faxes we used to use. I'm aging myself, but I sent out a fax to, it was like 400 dermatologists in the state of Arizona saying, hey, I'm a new kid on the block, blah, blah, blah. I got one response, and that person became my medical director for 7 years. He was a new dermatologist in town. Well, now we've got emails, right, in Texas, which is much easier. So the simplest way to do it, you guys, there is, rather than you guys taking the time to explain to a primary care physician or OBGYN that doesn't know a lot about aesthetics, you know, hey, be my medical director, and you kind of got to walk them through it and spend an hour to explain to them. Go online and Google med spas, Botox. You'll have, 100 people come up on Google in your area of med spas and docs offices doing, let's say, Botox and laser. On their websites, they're all going to list their medical director. And guess what? The medical director knows his spiel. He's already getting paid a fee to do so. So now you just hunt down that person on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. Hey, I see your medical director, so-and-so. I'm looking for a medical director in this area. Would you like to consider another location? And they ready to know the game. And you send that to 10 people, and 7 will say no, and 3 will say yes. And you get on the phone and you negotiate a deal, and you're off the races. To me, that's the easiest way and the quickest way, because they're already doing it. And they realize, wow, my liability is next to nothing. I'm making an extra $1,000 a month, or whatever the number is, or $700 a month. Or that to me is like quick and easy, Regarding the job search question, let me answer that one. That was interesting how you said more people looking for an RN versus an NP.
No,
interesting. In my world,
they're a physician assistant.
Oh, physician assistant.
Hey.
Got it.
Yeah.
So in my world, and I don't know everybody, but I know easily 100,000 injectors in the United States of America, and I know half the employees across the country. Most employers, if they can pick and choose. I hate to say this. If you're an RN, I apologize, but if they can pick and choose and get an NP or a PA versus an RN, and it's going to be, an hourly rate plus a commission, they're paying the same either way. They're probably going to take an NP or PA just because in their mind, they have a perception that you have more skills. But the reality is you may have more skills in medicine because your background, you may have more education, but in aesthetics, it's really the same. An RN and NP is the same skills. So I guess it just depends who you're talking to. I guess for every 100 employers, you probably have 50 that want an RN and 50 that want NPs and PAs. And me, I could care less. As long as you got an active license, I want the personality. If I'm going to hire somebody today, I'm less concerned with NP, PA, RN. I want a personality that my clients will love and adore, because guess what? I can give you the skills. If you're on a 1 to 10, if your skill set's a 3 or 4, you're new kid on the block, I can make you a 10, and so can anybody else. Give us a few weeks, you'll be a master, but I can't give you a smile. I can't give you charisma. I can't give you eye contact and communication skills. And because again, keep in mind, NP, PA nurse in the hospital, it's insurance based. The client, their patients, they're coming back to you. They're sick. In this business, it's customer service. They're going to come back to you, not just because you give them good treatment, because they like you as a person. Like the folks that are female on this chat, I know David and I don't have this problem because we're both bald. We don't really go to hairstylists, but most of you guys have hair. You go to a hairstylist and you fall in love with that person, not just because they give you a great haircut, because you bond, you connect, you talk about dogs and kids, and they're your therapist. So it's the same. This to me is a very similar concept.
And also you're like how well you're going to bring people back, because the cheapest way to grow your practice is through loyalty. So it's like that's what you should be valuing in yourself, and not the credential, no matter what your credential is. I want to tell you too that we're having more conversations with the MDs that we work with at Louology and Revelana. We've got hundreds of thousands of graduates, like hundreds of thousands of graduates from NLI. So I'm having that conversation with MDs saying, would you be willing to hire people and be the mentor and have someone come in as a mentee and you split revenues, more that model? Would you be their medical director? If you're an MD or anyone, like any credential that could possibly be a medical director in your state, will you please, like, we're building this directory and all get to know you, and we can possibly do some very creative things together where you get added passive income, but also you're helping someone at the same time get over this hump. Because Louis, we hear this every single weekend. How do we even get, like, people are asking too, like, can you start something where you can have someone shadowing all day? And that gets a little tough, right? From where Louis sits, because he runs National Laser Institute. So I'm curious about that too, if you see that as a hot trend. We got a question from someone who's an MD and his wife is an NP and a nurse practitioner. What does it take for us to become medical directors of one or more med spas? And what's a medical director expected to do?
Yeah, so the simple answer, you guys, is the reason we get asked that question all the time from docs and nurses is they heard, like, wow, this is really easy money. I can pick up an extra $1,000 a month, do literally like nothing more than check it every couple of months and say hi, and they start asking us questions. And so the quick answer is, if you're an MD anywhere in the United States, if you're a DO anywhere in the United States, you can be a medical director. If you're a nurse practitioner in many states, you could also be a medical director. So if you're one of those people on this Zoom chat and you're thinking, oh, I'd like to hear more about how I can make some simple money with next to no liability or risk, then in that form that Marissa, I believe, put in the chat box, just put in your contact information. We'll put you on our list and we'll get you some information. We'll point you the right direction. And basically, I'm in the process of doing a medical director contract right now with a doctor, actually a plastic surgeon, and a brand new plastic surgeon, 1 year in the business in Chicago. And it's basically a template form that says, okay, you're going to, do some random spot checks, occasionally some random spot checks of our consent form, the documents, to make sure we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's. And we're going to use your license to send in your license to buy the product and blah, blah, blah. Just little things that are just no big deal at all. And they're going to go, really? That's it? I thought it was a lot more involved. And we're going to go, no, that's really it. And then of course you'd have to, pay attorney for maybe a couple hours to do a contract, an agreement. The only thing, you guys, in a nutshell, to me, that's a liability. Nobody's going to die from Botox or fillers or lasers, right? Nobody's going to die. It's not like we're in the hospital. There's no contraindication of death here, to my knowledge. The only risk is that if you're going to be a medical director, whether you're an NP or a doc in some state, and the person you're the medical director for gets sleazy and they try to buy their Botox or stuff from Canada or Mexico, then you're liable. That is like, oh shit, you can lose your license. So we can show you how to set up a contract in a way that, hey, you're in writing, hey, this person will only buy domestically. Maybe you'll get a copy of their invoices once a month, and you'll know that they're ordering, domestically. And that's really the only liability. You can cover yourself there,
I wanted to answer one. It says, I'm working on my pricing now for my medical spa, not yet open. By the way, in the Louology Full Access and Mentor Support, we have a whole pricing sheet too that we recommend of the pricing. Should I lower my price? My prices, since I'm a newbie. By the way, so no matter what, you want to show value, and I'll let Lou, I'm going to let you answer this too, of course, but I do want to say, like, it's one thing to have a price and stick to your price, but also offer specials. If you start at low pricing, you're not able to bring value and show specials, and you don't want to devalue yourself. So if you're going to discount because you don't have experience, I'd start with friends and family, and you can't really publicize that out there. But what do you think about pricing and being a newbie?
If you start if you lower your price, you'll never, ever be able to raise it. Because then guess what? Let's say special deal this month, Botox, normally $12 a unit. We're gonna give it to you for $9 a unit. Well, guess what? You do that for 2 months and then you go back to normal prices and they're gonna bang their door. Could I have it for $9? I missed the time. I wasn't ready, blah, blah. And you'll get stuck at a lower price point. So the way to do it is to never, ever, ever drop your prices. You establish from day one whether you want to be an upper end provider, high price point, Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, Mercedes, Porsche, Masters Ocean Club, Del Frisco, high end. Whether you want to be a mid-market provider, well, think of like the Marriott Hotel. There's the Courtyard Marriott for $100 a night. There's the regular Marriott high rises downtown for $225 a night. And then there's a JW Marriott for $400 a night. So you decide as a business professional whether you want to be the upper end, you get what you pay for, and I'm the high end, middle end, or kind of a discount. There's no right or wrong. It's a business decision. But once you create that messaging, stick to it. And rather than ever dropping your prices, add other things of added value. So for example, come in for our filler, which is normally $500, and the second syringe you get, I'm gonna give you for $300. Or come in for our Botox, which is $500, and this will give you a skincare product worth $50. So get them used to, train them to accept your retail prices, but give them other value in extra ways, you know? And by doing so, they're excited. Everybody loves to get something for free. Who doesn't want something for free? But you're maintaining the integrity of your price point.
I've gotten a lot of questions like, I'm in this state, can I be my own medical director? I'm in this state, can I own my own med spa? You know, I have a lot of that. I'll let you give your answer, but in a blanket statement, I want to say we're in the process of posting every single state and those answers inside of the Louology, the full access membership. That is not going to stay a one-time fee very long. It's one-time $69.95. I even got teased today by a partner that we're looking at working with, who is a whiz in some areas that we want to bring to the table. They said $69.95 one time. And so I'm like, no, we're going to end up turning that into an annual fee because we keep beefing the full access with more courses. And Lou, I do want to do a full course on how to, two things, how to really set yourself apart and help yourself grow in the roughest of economic times, I think is a really good course for us to put together. And the other one is about loyalty. How do you serve someone in a way that they just keep coming back again and again and again? You know, how someone decides or figures out, do you think this is the best way just to refer to this or talk to a lawyer, whatever, on finding out if they can be a medical director in their state? What's the best way for them to research that? Who regulates that?
Every single person who's an MD or a DO in every single state, I'm going to tell you right now, you can be a medical director, period. Okay. If you're not an MD or DO, if you're an RN, a business entrepreneur, or physician's assistant, you cannot be a medical director. If you're a nurse practitioner, there's many, many states that's now become cool for you to be a medical director. Now it's different for every single state. So obviously hit us up, fill out the form. Mercer, post that link again and let us know what state you're in and your credentials, and we will get back to you and give you the answer. So again, it's a state by state thing. And you also could probably, you know, figure it out on your own if you do a lot of Googling and look at codes and laws and all that, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But you know, either way.
It is. I'm telling you, I'm so excited that we're putting this doc together because it's not easy. But it's just so you know, when you go to Louology.com, it's medical-director, and that's the sign up form. So sign you up. It really just gives you your information and your comments to me so we can start that conversation and get you in the directory if you want to be in the directory. And it's totally free. There's nothing weird about it. So one of the questions is, can dentists be medical directors? I think only Arizona, right? So far? It's trending, no, Arizona, I'm still having my attorneys look into it. It's undecided. I don't know. It's a gray area. And I don't think any laws have even been established. So they just changed laws, for example, in Arizona and some states where historically dentists could only inject like the TMG, like the medical stuff in the face, but of course they still do it everywhere else. They got the needle for TMJ and then they hit the forehead or whatever, but it's gray area. So Arizona is now legal for dentists to do Botox and fillers and is slowly evolving to other states. So common sense dictates to me that if a dentist can do Botox and fillers now, they should be able to be a medical director, just like an MD or DO, but it's gray and I haven't seen any specific laws. So I'm looking into it with my attorneys right now to answer that question because I haven't gotten a straight answer yet. It's so freaking new. It's just so new
I would assume the answer should be yes, but just because it should be yes doesn't mean it is yes. Because for years and years and years, I've said for 20 years, why the heck is it illegal for dentists to do injections? That's idiotic. They do injections in the face all day long, and now finally they're making it legal. You know.
So I had this come up in a couple of different ways, but this question, I'm a licensed cosmetologist and registered nurse in Arizona. And could I legally own and run a practice that implements all of these services in one entity? And I've had this asked before. So with the, the med spa stuff, along with just cosmetic kind of stuff, cosmetology, can it all operate under one, or would you separate the corporate entities?
Great question. Let me give you an example. So a gal I'm really good friends with, she's an NP in Nevada. She wanted to open up exactly what you're talking about. She well, actually, her first thing was, Louis, help me open a med spa, but I got a budget here, and I want to do one room. I find a place for $800,000. What should I do? And then she said, Louis, I also stumbled across a place down the street that was really cute, but it was $3,000, had 6 rooms, and I'm not quite ready to expand from day one. I'm just getting rolling. She goes, what should I do? And I did the math in my head. I'm okay. How many rooms? 6 rooms. 3,000 square feet. I go, what's the market in your town to rent a room, for like whether it's injections or hair cutting? She goes, I don't know. It's probably about $800 a month. So I said, well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to rent out all 6 rooms, not for $800 a month, but for $600 a month to synergistic providers. You'll be the only injector. It'll be a hairstylist. There'll be a massage therapist. There'll be a lash girl, blah, 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 whatever, naturopathic physician, whatever works right. And all of a sudden, $600 times 6 rooms is $3,600. Guess what? Your $3,000 rent, now you're profitable, $600 a month. And you've got other businesses that are paying you rent that are feeding you business. Somebody comes to get their haircut, and then they got Botox at the same place. And she made about 200, and I think she almost hit $300,000 last year. So she's in her, I met her 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I met her. So she's in her end of her 3rd year in business, and she's now making $300,000 a year. As a nurse practitioner in Nevada, she was making probably $100,000 to $120,000 a year. So she's almost tripled her income from that exact concept that you just mentioned of having different things under one roof. So I love the concept of combining injections, technology with other aesthetics, beauty things, not so much that because it's beauty, just because you got traffic, you got cross traffic. And I think the future of this business, you guys, is going to be just like how Walmart evolved. Walmart was a 5 and dime store. Now you can buy 10 million things at Walmart. I think pretty soon we're going to see these mega locations that are going to be 20, 50, 100,000 square feet. It'll be everything. It'll be one-stop shop for anti-aging and health and wellness and beauty. It'll be haircuts and manicures and pedicures, and massages and injections and technologies and smoothie bar and daycare and yoga and Pilates and plastic surgeon and derm. How beautiful would that be where if you're one of the only providers doing that and all these other people are sending you traffic and it doesn't cost you any money because it's one facility, like a shopping mall. Same concept when you go to a shopping mall. So I love that concept. Personally, if I was going to be a med spa provider, that's exactly what I would do.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And it's the kitty cat principle. You're going to be more excited about going into the office. One of the questions is like, how do you stay accountable? If you're in that kind of an environment, you all get accountable to each other. And if you're alone, it's harder to be accountable. So that's one thing. And another thing too, if you have great, like Revlana, if you have an automated system in place that you're using for your practice and you have other people joining you, there's a way of keeping everything separate, but having them pay you to leverage your technology infrastructure. And then it's offsetting your costs. Or you can do the opposite with someone who already has systems in place. It's offsetting your costs, but Revlana really uniquely lets you share that and you can even do co-branded advertising together.
Hey, Eric, I don't mean to interrupt, but I would assume 70% of the people in this chat don't know what Revlana is. So can you just give me a 30-second preview of the software we created?
All right, so Revlana is a mixture of, number one, our favorite thing ever in the whole world is a branding agency. Also a services agency when it comes to technology infrastructure, putting all the pieces, getting all your social platforms set up the right way and all that, but also the software system. It's a software system that automates everything from your booking system to your reputation management, web chat, All your forms are automated. It's got so when someone sets an appointment, there's workflows that happen and that communicate with them, that confirm the appointments. It's got a business phone line that also allows two-way texting. So like it's without going, I don't want to be an ad. So I'm going to say, just go to rebelana.com. It's REVEL, like to enjoy, Rebel, and Ana, ANA. And it just shows you everything. But that thing just like it comes with a WordPress website as well. So you get a WordPress website and you get all of those systems worked in. So we have a question. How do most aesthetic businesses build their consent forms? Is there a platform? Some people have found these on pay to get these forms. We have them, by the way. Louology Full Access Mentor Support has them. So I don't know if there's anything you want to add there, but
yeah, there is no platform that I've seen. If it exists, I'm not aware of it. We can go to your state and you say, I want a consent form for this, you plug in your information that kind of populates the data. The reason it doesn't exist is because laws are a little different in every single state, you guys. So there's no way legally to do that, because if the law is a little different in state A versus B, a template could never, ever work because laws are a moving target. So we have template forms that, we can give you as a baseline. So you can basically knock off what we have, but then based on your state, you may want to pay an attorney for 1 hour of their time, a couple $100. Say, okay, here's what I got from National Laser. Can you tell me what I need to tweak? Because I'm in this state and the laws are different in every state. And then literally tweaks will be minimal, probably 3% of tweaks and a couple of sentences here and there. So you're compliant with your state, but that's the easiest way to do it.
okay. Hey, so this question, you can answer it any way you want. It says, what kind of training and education do you need to provide to my staff to ensure that they provide excellent service and care? What have been your biggest tricks of service that stays memorable?
So this is a tough one, you guys, because here's the biggest problem in almost any industry that sells stuff. You don't want your front desk people and your staff to be people that check people in and check people out and say hello. Because, nowadays with inflation, if you got to pay these people $18 an hour, $20 an hour, it's not like the olden days where you're paying them $12 an hour. Okay, fine, get somebody who can just say hi and bye. You're paying them a lot of money nowadays. So you want them rebooking clients and you want them selling skincare and selling additional products and services and saying all these great things that you're offering. So it's more of it's a training cycle. It's A, they have to be experts in all the products and services you sell. And B, you almost have to script out what they say to every single person. And so, I'm going to give you a simple example. I'm going to dumb down a really simple example. So let's say somebody's coming in for a laser hair removal treatment. Well, laser hair removal, typically you need a treatment about 6 treatments a month apart. So somebody comes in for their first laser hair removal treatment Wednesday, 2 p.m. Hey, Mrs. Customer, hope you had a great treatment. Have a nice day. I'm excited for you to, have that hair not grow back again. And by the way, as you probably know, it takes about 6 treatments a month apart to get the perfect result. And I know that it sounds like Wednesdays are good for you. Next month at the same time, I got Wednesday at the same time you can say, or if Thursday's better for you in the AM, which one's better for you? Wednesday PM or Thursday AM. So you assume the order and they'll say, oh, sure, I'll take Wednesday this time. Or they'll say, I got some questions for you. Slow down, buddy. Not so quick. And then you rebook them. And so just little things like that. You teach your desk, you actually turn them into salespeople, very soft salespeople, not like slam bam, I'm going to tell you something, just really soft, informational, kind of assumptive salespeople.
Yeah, and another thing too is like the assumptive way of saying, I'm sure you realize with these, you need a few different treatments to completely get rid of that hair. But did you know we've got packages and have something for them to just give and not even say anything? Just have something beautiful that spells out really nice packages or gets someone a QR code that gets them directly to the web page that has your packages spelled out. Make it easy. So that's also another thing.
Yeah, and a simple example, because the package, let's say somebody's paying $250 for laser hair removal treatment. You let them know, as you know, $250, thank you for your business. So by the way, if you do the package of 6 treatments, that actually price drops to $195 a treatment. You actually save $300 for this package, if that's of more interest to you. And who doesn't want to save a couple $100, right?
So it says, how can I stay up to date with the industry developments and continue to educate myself and staff? Oh, wait, on the latest treatments and techniques. I asked the wrong question, but you can answer that one if you got it, Lou. How
Well,
can I stay up to date in industry developments?
okay, so we're in the process, actually, because we asked that question so many times, you guys, we're in the process of developing a segment on Louology for latest and greatest
Okay,
technology and injection developments. Behind the scenes, Erica and our team are working on that. It'll probably could be about 30 to 45 days for that. And as they come out, it's going to be on Louology before you even hear about it in the marketplace. So as you evolve, just check in, once a month for our latest and greatest things, and you'll see all the latest and greatest injections, technologies, weight, upsell, cross, literally everything under the sun that you'll need to know. So that's going to be a future segment on Louology, because you're not the first person that's asked that question.
yeah, and just so you guys know, we do have a free, like if you go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@asklouology, if you subscribe to that and then hit that bell and then hit all, every time we drop a new Crushing It in Aesthetics interview that has this stuff, it's totally free. So I want you to just enjoy that, soak it all in. We're running out of time here, but I want to try to get them all. How can I create a loyal customer base that returns for repeat treatments and refers others to my med spa, refers people to my med spa?
Okay, so you're not going to do it by providing the best products. Of course, people want great injections and great technology, great results, and that's a given. You go anywhere for a service, and you expect it. You go to a great steak and seafood place, you expect a good quality steak and seafood. That's not why we go back. We go back because the experience and the memory and the way they make you feel. My favorite restaurant in Arizona is Mastro's Ocean Club, and I love going there with others on a date or their friend. I love going to lounge there because that's a cool vibe. It's like, I'm going there for the vibe. It's the music. It's this amazing wine bar. Yeah, the food's good, but this food's good everywhere. So I'm going there for this experience of an energy and a vibe. It's like my favorite quote, Maya Angelou: people will forget the words that you say, people will forget the things that you do, but people will never forget the way you make them feel. So you've got to find a way to make these people feel special on a personal basis. So your service isn't just a service, it's a memory and an experience that's unforgettable. Now, whether you create that memory and experience by telling jokes or being their therapist or their best friend or sending them home with free skincare products or cooking brownies or walking them out to the parking lot, giving them a hug goodbye, whatever it is that you feel you need to do, you've got to go above and beyond a good service to make that happen. Now, when's the last time, I know we have a lot of medical professionals online, when's the last time that you guys went to your, a lot of females online, when's the last time you went to your male OBGYN and, after the treatment, he goes, thanks, have a nice day, and he goes next room. What if your OBGYN walked you to the lobby and opened the lobby door for you, walked to your car door and gave you a hug goodbye? When either A, you're thinking he's a freaking freak and a pervert,
Sounds creepy
send
to
him to
me.
jail, or B, you think, wow, that's kind of cool. I was like, he's a nice guy, and he goes to church, he's got a family, he's not hitting on me. Like, that was kind of, you remember that. You would remember that. You may think it's different, but I promise you, you'd remember that. So how is it that what can you guys say or do to get them to remember you? That's, to me, the key of building loyalty and referrals.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things too is print is not dead. So make something, invest in something very non-salesy that just has the basics and a QR code and even says like referral rewards at blah, blah, blah.com. And then they know like, oh, referral rewards, and you don't have to say it. So that's a trick.
Yeah, and by the way, you guys, speaking of referral rewards and points, all those things, I exclusively use American Express because I like their point system. I like flying Southwest because of the points. So you guys have your favorite things and you get your points. So there's a million and one ways you can do the point systems and frequent flyer type things. And a lot of people may be loyal to you just because they like Allergan has something called Alley. They want to create loyalty about this point system and give you incentives. And, you buy 10, you get this, that. So you can easily create something like that in addition to everything else,
If someone has a really important question, you want to make sure, please, and reach out. We saw a lot of good, juicy stuff in chat. ask@louology.com. That comes to me. So, and I'll make sure that we get you taken care of.
No, thank you guys for joining us. We'll be here the first Wednesday of every month to answer any questions you have. If for any reason we didn't get a question answered that you wanted tonight, put in the email. If Erica can't give you a perfect answer, she'll hit me up in 2 seconds. We'll make sure it is golden. We're here to be a resource for you guys and help you any way we can. Thank you, everybody,